Good morning, friends. Welcome to another Thursday live Pilates class with me. It's Kate here. If you are new to the channel, I've not finished my coffee yet, if you can't tell. Still a little sleepy. I hope you've got some coffee if it's the morning for you too, but if it's the afternoon, hello or good evening. Today I have a Pilates Yoga Fusion class planned for us. It's going to start off with a nice ladder flow. If you're new to that sequencing, it'll make sense pretty quickly. Those are nice because you can kind of easily keep up and really focus on your own breath and body, which is always really nice. And then we'll move on to some strength building exercises for our hips, our glutes, and finish with a little bit of stretching. Now, I do have a couple of props with me today. You are welcome to use them, but you can do the entire class without the props as well. I'm going to use some weights, maybe some blocks for those of us that need a little extra space when we're stretching. And I do have a foam roller with me today. If you don't have a foam roller for the end where I'm going to use it, you can simply roll up your mat, or if you have a yoga block, you can put the yoga block under your hips when I'm about to do that too. Both of those options work great. Or you can just do no props whatsoever. You're still going to get a stretch. You're still going to work out. It'll be great nonetheless. Anyway, we'll go ahead and get started. So join me on your mat. We'll start this today at the back of our mat, standing tall and straight. If you feel comfortable with it, close your eyes and just stand up a little bit taller. Think about me holding your ears, and I'm pulling your ears straight up to the sky to create a little more length in your neck. Take a nice big inhale through your nose. Big sigh out the mouth. Again, big breath in. Big breath out. One more time. Let it go. Just check in with your body and how you're feeling today. Is it the morning for you like it is for me? So maybe we feel a little groggy. Maybe our shoulders feel a little tight. Our spine like it needs some stretching. Maybe it's the end of the day and you've been hunched over at your desk all day and you really want to focus on opening up the chest. Maybe you, like me, have some sad hips right now. My right hip is feeling a little rough. So if it looks like I'm babying it today, I probably am. And remember, I'm not a drill sergeant, so you can always do as much or as little class as you like. Feel free to care for your own body in whatever way feels best. On your next exhale, drop your chin to your chest and hold it there. Eyes can stay closed, you can flutter them open. Just notice what it feels like to bring the chin down to your chest. Do we feel any funny pulling or stretches anywhere? Maybe lift the chin up a little bit if that's feeling too dramatic, or pull the chin a little bit down if you want that deeper stretch. Bring your gaze right back up. Take another big inhale. Exhale, bring the chin back down to chest again. Pause. Roll your right ear to right shoulder. Hold there for a moment, actively pressing your left shoulder down, actively lifting your left ear up. Roll the chin back to chest. Opposite ear to opposite shoulder. Right ear up, right shoulder down, making that space there. Bring your chin back to chest. Pause. Bring your gaze up again. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, chin to chest. Right ear rolls to right shoulder. Return center. Left ear to left shoulder. Return center. Now take a nice big inhale right here. As you exhale, bend your knees. Think about folding from your sternum, beginning to find a forward fold. I imagine that I've already got weights in my hands and they're pulling me down slow and steady. Now, if it's the morning for you, just like it is for me, we might feel really tight here. Maybe normally we can get deeper into a forward fold, but perhaps right now we're a little bit higher. This, of course, is a great place to use blocks if you feel really stuck, if you feel really up high and you want to hold on to those blocks right there, you absolutely can. Let's just pause here in our forward fold and find some movement. Go ahead and nod the head. Shake it left and right, yes and no. Maybe push the hips side to side. I always like to remind all my students that our forward fold is rarely about straight legs. Sometimes it can be, most of the time it's about finding some space through our spine, through our vertebra. So having deeply bent knees is always a great way to go. Usually first thing in the morning, I always start with a nice big bend in my knees when I forward fold. Eventually rise center again. Make sure your shoulders haven't risen up to your ears. Let them slide down the back. And then slowly roll yourself up to standing. If we get a few pops through our body like I just did, well, that's okay as long as it doesn't hurt. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, chin to chest. Roll your right ear to right shoulder. Bring your chin back down to chest. Left ear to left shoulder. Chin returns. Take a breath. Exhale, bend the knees, forward fold all the way down to the ground. And then roll all the way back up to standing, one vertebra at a time. Head is last thing to come upright. Stand tall, stand straight. Think about squeezing where your thigh and your glute connect, lifting out of your waist. Take an inhale, reach your hands overhead. Exhale, flip the palms, push them down. Again, inhale, reach the hands high overhead. Push them down. I see very many people in my classes just kind of flopping their arms around when we do little stretches like this. I am constantly thinking about reaching my fingertips up as high as I possibly can, as far away and down as low as I can to create some nice mobility through my shoulders. This time, reach the hands up and pause. Push down into your feet, lift out of your waist. Maybe roll the shoulders back and look lightly up to the sky. I envision there's a string attached to my sternum, pulling my chest up. Keep squeezing your thigh butt. Flip the palms, press them down. Tuck your chin to your chest, roll your right ear to right shoulder. Bring it back to center, roll your left ear to left shoulder. Bring it back to center, pause, take a breath, exhale, forward fold. One vertebra at a time, rolls all the way down to the ground. One vertebra at a time, rolls yourself all the way back up to standing. Swing your hands high overhead, a little different this time. Catch your right wrist, physically pull it up to the sky and lean to your left. Let that go. Catch your opposite wrist, pull it up to the sky, lean to your other side. Let it go. Flip the palms, press them down. Tuck your chin to your chest. Roll your right ear to right shoulder. Bring it back. Left ear to left shoulder. Bring it back. Take a breath. Bend the knees. Roll into your forward fold. Roll all the way up to standing. Inhale, swim the hands high. Catch your right wrist, pull it up, stretch to your left. Let it go. Left hand lifts, stretch to your right. Let it go. Flip the palms, press them down. Again, tuck your chin to your chest, a little bit different than before. Just roll down into your nice big forward fold and pause. Hold here for another moment. Notice what our forward fold or how it feels different from that first time. Does it feel like you want to bend and straighten the knees a few times? Does it feel like you want to push your hips kind of right and left, finding some movement, finding a little stretch to your side body? Do you want to just keep nodding the head and being still here? Pause center, look to the top of your mat. All I want us to do is crawl out to a downward dog. We're not going to be there too long. Just take a pause. And again, like our forward fold, I like to start a downward dog with a bend in my knees so I can focus on lengthening through my spine. Soften the shoulders down the back, pull your navel in, push the hips away. Take a big inhale, big breath out. Walk your hands back to your toes. Find your forward fold, roll yourself all the way up to standing. Dip your chin to your chest, roll right ear to right shoulder, bring it back. Left ear to left shoulder, bring it back. Roll all the way down to a nice forward fold. Roll yourself up to standing. Inhale, swim the hands high. Catch your right wrist, lean over to your left. Catch your left, lean over to your right. Flip the palms, press them down, chin to chest, bend the knees. Walk out to your plank. Walk out to your downward facing dog. Pause here in your downward facing dog. Bend your knees. Lift your sitting bones high. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, push your right heel down to the ground. You may or may not straighten the leg. The heel may or may not touch. Left leg is still bent. Rebend both knees. Straighten your left leg, pushing your left heel down to the ground. Again, pedal through the feet, trying to keep the hips even with one another. Sitting bones reaching up to the sky. Tailbone lifting high. And then pause center with both knees bent, both sitting bones reaching high. Take a nice big breath. Big sigh out. Walk your hands back to meet your toes. Bend your knees, roll yourself all the way up to standing. Now we're going to get rid of that first part of our flow. No more rolling our head side to side, but instead we'll start our little ladder flow with our hands reaching high. Grab your right wrist, lean to the left. Grab your left wrist, lean to the right. Flip the palms, press them down, tuck the chin to the chest. Again, walk out to your downward facing dog. Find your dog and pause. Send both heels down to the ground. Knees can be bent or straight now. Take a full big inhale. Big breath out. 3 times I want you to roll down into a tabletop. And then push back to your downward facing dog. Roll down to your tabletop. Push back to your downward facing dog. One more time, tabletop. Find your downward facing dog, pause. Pause right there, walk your fingers back to meet your toes. Bend the knees, roll yourself all the way up. Inhale, hands lift high. Take a stretch to your left. Take a stretch to your right. Flip the palms, tuck the chin to the chest, roll down into your forward fold. Walk out to your downward facing dog. Just one time, we're going to roll into our tabletop and pause. Start a nice big cat and cow. That can be a traditional cat and cow. You can start to circle the head and the tail around, just moving the spine however you like. And then pause, hands under shoulders, tuck the toes around to the back of the body. Notice if you can slide the shoulders down the back more, letting the head release. Take a big inhale, exhale, hover your knees away from the floor and hold. 3, 2, 1. Both knees down, lengthen the spine. Round, hover, pause, lift. 3, 2, 1. Both knees down, lengthen and stretch. One more time, round and hover. 3, 2, 1. Downward dog. Walk your fingers to meet your toes. Bend the knees, roll yourself up. Inhale, hands lift. Stretch to your right. Stretch to your opposite side. Flip the palms, press them down. Return to your downward facing dog. Again, just one time, we'll roll into our tabletop. Sink into your tabletop. Keep the toes tucked around the body. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Touch the knees down, pause. A little different from here. Take your right foot behind you. Tuck the toe, push the heel back. Get a nice big stretch to the back of your calf muscle. 3 times, rock yourself forward, rock yourself back. Rock yourself forward, rock yourself back. Last time, forward, back, pause. Hold it right there. Our right leg will stay in place. I want you to point your left toe behind you. Stack the hips, stack the shoulders. Find a nice, big, modified side plank. Send your fingertips up overhead. Really fan open your ribs. Enjoy that nice, big, beautiful side body stretch. Start to circle your arm around. This is one of my favorite things to do for my chest in the morning. Finding mobility through my shoulder. Just finding as much movement as I can. Take that circle in the opposite direction. And then pause. Reach your fingertips up overhead. Send them over to the wall away from you. I think about pushing my hip up to the sky. Find a great big breath. Return hands and knees to the ground. Tuck the toes. Push back to your dog. Walk to your forward fold. Roll yourself all the way up to standing. Big inhale, hands lift high. Right wrist pulls up, lean to your left. Left wrist reaches, lean to your right. Flip the palms, press them down. Roll into your forward fold. Walk out to your downward dog. Hips lift high. Sink down into your tabletop. Just one time, we round and hover the knees. 3, 2, 1. Both knees down. This time, take your left foot behind you. Push the heel back. Get that nice big stretch. If you want to, you can rock forward and back, finding a little mobility through our wrist, through our ankle, getting that nice stretch in our calf muscle. And then pause. Point your now right toe behind you. Stack the hips, lift the hand. Find that lovely modified side plank. You might send your hand up immediately. You can start those circles. Both sides can feel a little different, so it's okay if we do something not quite as even as we did on the other side. No big deal. Reach your fingertips back overhead. Find that lovely big stretch through your side body. Return to your tabletop. Tuck the toes, find a downward facing dog. Walk your hands to meet your toes. Roll yourself all the way up. Inhale, hands lift high. Big stretch to your left. Big stretch to your right. Flip the palms, press it down, chin to chest, roll. Find your downward dog. Touch into your tabletop for a moment. Tuck the toes around and hover. 3, 2, 1. Both knees down. Now again, take your right foot behind you, hold. Point your left toe behind you as well, and swim the hand up high, a little bit different than before. Cinch your waist. You might find for this next guy, you want to move your hand a little further away, so it's not directly underneath the shoulder, and that's okay with me. But I want you to cinch the waist here, broaden across your chest, reach the fingertips high, take a big inhale. Exhale, pick up your right leg, touch it down. Exhale, cinch the waist, pick up your right leg, touch it down. 2 more, exhale up, inhale down. Last one up, pause, flex the foot, squeeze your thigh butt connection point deeply on your right side. Almost push your right heel a little bit behind you. You might find a little bit of a stretch or find an opening through the front of your right hip. Take a nice big inhale. Set the foot down on the ground, reach your fingers overhead, and then return to your tabletop. We're immediately going to do our second side. Take the toe behind you, point your right toe back, lift the left hand high. Again, do we need to adjust the placement of our hands? Did you notice if you wanted to reach it further away? Great big inhale. Exhale, pick up the leg, touch it down. Exhale, pick up the leg, touch it down. Now your toe can be pointed, flexed, or soft. I usually like a nice flexed foot for me when I'm doing this, so I know that I am activating the back of my leg a little bit more. This time, lift, pause, cinch the waist, reach the fingertips up higher, squeeze your thigh, try to push the heel a little bit away from you. Take a breath, set the foot on the floor, reach your fingertips overhead, find that big, beautiful stretch. Return to your tabletop. Find your downward dog. Walk your fingers back. Roll yourself up to standing. Inhale, hands lift high. Stretch over to one side. Take it in the opposite direction. Flip the palms, chin to chest, bend the knees, roll down. Walk yourself out to your great big downward dog. Knees tap for just a moment. Tuck the toes around and hover. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Take it down. Again, right foot back. Flip your left toe behind you. Stack the shoulders, stack the hips just once. I want you to lift up and pause. Now point the toe a little bit different than before. Reach your foot further away. Cinch the waist. Just hold that nice, big, beautiful pose. Set the foot down onto the floor. Take your stretch overhead. Return to tabletop. Opposite foot back behind you. Take the toe back behind your right hip, lift the fingers, and again, we'll float the foot up, this time pointing the toe, really reaching it back and away. Envision I'm holding your ankle, I'm physically pulling your ankle away from your body. Full big breath, big sigh out, touch your toe to the floor, hands and knee return. Open the knees wide, sink back to a child's pose. Of course, if it feels better with your knees more together than apart, that's okay. But I want you to rest for just a moment. Set the head on the floor. Really let yourself sink. Take a nice big breath. Big sigh out. Another big inhale. Big sigh out. Curl your hands together and see if you can clasp the hands in a fist. Press your elbows down into the ground and see if you can bring your fist to the back of your neck. Sometimes that's enough for me. I often like to, very awkwardly, kind of walk or crawl my elbows further away from my body, push down into my elbows, and push my sternum closer to the floor so I get a little stretch there underneath my pecs. Take a nice big inhale. Let that go. Return to your tabletop. Tuck the toes, find your dog. Walk your hands back. Roll on up. Inhale, hands lift. Stretch left. Stretch right. Flip the palms, bring it down. Walk into your downward facing dog. Find your tabletop. Round and hover, hold 3, 2, 1. Both knees down. Right leg behind you, swing the left leg back, stack the hips, lift the toe up, pause. Touch it to the floor. Same thing, other side. Touch the foot to the floor, return to your child's pose. We'll sink there for just a moment. Head is heavy. Again, crawl the hands together, clasp the fist. Bring your hands to the nape of your neck. Maybe crawl forwards so you get another big stretch. Great big inhale. Big breath out. Release the hands. Roll yourself up to a seat. Of course, if kneeling doesn't work for you, you could sit in a cross-leg seat. That transition might not be as easy, but that's okay. Hands to the top of your thighs. Lift out of your waist. Pull your navel in. Take a big inhale. Swim the hands high. Clasp the hands behind your head, poke the elbows wide, take a breath, and a little twist to your right. Inhale, look forward, a little twist to your left. Look forward, roll the shoulders back, puff your heart and chest up to the sky, cinch your waist, reach your sternum up, take a big breath. Look forward, both hands up, return to your tabletop, find your dog. And return to your forward fold. Slowly roll yourself up to standing. Inhale, hands lift high. Stretch to your right. Stretch to your left. I said that in the opposite order. It's okay. Flip the palms. Slowly come on down. Walk out to your downward dog. Touch into your tabletop. Round the body, hover, hold. 3, 2, 1, knees down. Find your modified side plank, your gate pose, whatever you want to call it. Stack the hips, lift the foot, pause, grow long from your ears through your body, out your toe. Touch it to the floor. Same thing, other side. Touch it to the floor. Again, return to your child's pose. Crawl the hands together. Bring them back behind the nape of your neck. Maybe crawl the hands further away so you get that deeper stretch. Let the hands go. Roll yourself all the way up to a seat. Again, both hands lift high. Clasp them behind your head. Poke the elbows wide. Take a breath. Twist to your right. Look forward. Twist to your left. Look forward. Roll the shoulder back. Puff the heart and chest up. Pause. Take a nice big inhale. Look forward, pause, reach your fingertips up overhead. Drop your right hand down by your side. Lift a little higher out of your waist. And again, stretch to your right. Now I really want you to think about stacking the shoulders one on top of the other. If you're looking down to the ground, kind of caving the chest in, we won't quite get as deep of a lateral stretch as you like. From here, you might even push your hips a little bit more to the left. They might touch the floor. They just might scoot off of your heels, and that's okay. Take a big inhale, and then find a great big forward fold. Roll yourself up to a seat, both hands lift high. This time, left hand down, right hand lifts, big side stretch over. Fan open the ribs. Find that lovely big stretch. And then again, maybe push the hips a little bit to the right. They may or may not touch the ground. Take a breath. And then find your forward fold. Just pause here for a moment, hands back by the heels to allow the shoulders to separate. Big inhale. Big breath out. Roll yourself up to a seat. Beautiful. We're going to move into a little bit of strength building. I want you to take yourself to lie down on the mat. And I'm going to have my weights on either side of me. If you don't have weights, of course, that's okay. But let's find a nice flat, long spine. So immediately imprint your spine. Gently push your feet into the floor. Wrap the tummy in. You move the weights a little bit away so you've got some space there, but push your palms down into the mat and then tuck your tail and roll all the way up to a nice, lovely bridge. Start to squeeze your thigh butt connection point. Almost think about pushing your hips, your pelvis a little bit higher. Notice if you're splaying through the ribs. You want to wrap the tummy in, squeeze your thigh. Take a big, deep breath. From the sternum, roll right back down. Inhale, lift the hips up, return to the top of your bridge. Lower all the way down to the ground. 3 more, inhale, lift up, find the top of your bridge. Roll all the way down to the ground. Last one, lift up, find your bridge, pause, shoulders down, nose high, take a great big inhale, big sigh out. Slowly make your way down into the mat. Again, feel your low back connect, wrap the abdominal muscles in. You should feel them working hard. Stretch your hands over your head without arching your back. And then swim your fingertips straight up to the sky, shoulders down the back. Stomp into your feet. As you exhale, curl your head and chest up. You can always take a hand behind your head to give your neck a little support. But I envision folding from my sternum, trying to float or lift my shoulder blades away from the ground. 5 times, I want you to lift your fingertips over your knees. Exhale, push them down. Inhale, lift your fingertips over your knees. Exhale, push them down. 3 more. And 2. Last one. Down, pause. Lower head and chest down. Keep the spine imprinted. Take your stretch of your hands over your head. And then down by your side. Press into your left foot. Pick up your right leg. Did your shoulders lift? Did your back arch? Keep those things connected to the mat. 5 times. Tap the toe to the floor. Exhale, pick up the knee. Tap the toe to the floor. Exhale, pick up the knee. 3 more. Down and up. 2 more. Down and up. Last one. Lift, pause, set your right foot on the floor. Big inhale, exhale, pick up your left leg. Same thing, down and up, down and up. For 3 and 2, last one. Set the foot on the floor. Grab your weights if you've got them. Place them on the top of your hips. I'm letting them rest there and I'm just balancing with my hands. Inhale, rise to the top of your bridge. Hold. Cinch the waist. Squeeze your thigh. Lift your hips up just a hint higher and then roll down. Inhale, tuck the tail, roll all the way back up. And slowly roll yourself down. Lift, roll it up. And return to the mat. 2 more up. And return to your mat. Last one, lift and hold. Shoulders down, space between chin and chest. Take a breath. Come all the way down to the mat. Hold the weights, push them up to the sky. Shoulders down the back. Cinch your waist, big inhale. Curl head and chest up off of the ground. If it's too much with the weights, that's okay. Inhale, lift the hands, exhale, push them down. Inhale, lift the hands, exhale, push them down. 3 more up and down. 2 more up and down. Last one, bring it down, pause. Lower the head and chest to the floor. Keep your arms up to the sky, shoulders down the back. Right leg lifts. Tap and pick it up. Tap and pick it up. For 3 and 2. Last one. Other side, set the right foot down, pick up the left leg without moving the spine. Down and up. Down and up. 3 more. Shoulders are connected, chest is open. Beautiful. Last one. Touch it to the floor, lift. Set your foot on the floor, a little bit different than before. Do press into your feet, roll your hips, and pause. Squeeze your thud, shoulders down the back. We're going to bend our elbows to the side like a little cactus and push them up to the sky. Now we're going to take it in a little pattern. We're going to go slow down and quick up. So bend the elbows for 3, 2, 1, quick up. Bend, 3, 2, 1, quick up. Again, 3, 2, 1, quick up. Every time you push the weights up, cinch the waist, squeeze your thigh. Make sure you haven't lowered the hips. We want to keep them nice and high. 3, 2, 1, quick up. 2 more. 3, 2, 1, quick up. Last one. 3, 2, 1. Lift and pause. Touch the weights together. Roll the hips down to the ground. Keep your low back connected to the mat. Take the hands overhead so you can see them in your peripheral vision. If they have touched the floor, they've gone too far. And then bring them back over your sternum. In that same pattern, they go overhead. 3, 2, 1, quick up. 3, 2, 1, quick up. Keep going at your own pace. If you want to take this up a notch, maybe pick up one or both feet while we're moving our arms. 3, 2, 1, quick up. Again, 3, 2, 1, quick up. 2 more. 3, 2, 1, lift, hold. Separate the arms with legs up or touching the floor. Take a big inhale. Curl your head and chest up. If we want to set our weights down, that's okay. If we can lift them over our knees, that's great. With the weights or not, either touch the weights together or your palms like you're in a little prayer pose. Take your weights to the right side of your hips. This is the bottom of a rainbow. Inhale, lift to the top. Exhale, twist to the opposite side of the rainbow. Inhale up. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, lift. Back and forth at your own pace. No hurry, no rush. Last set. Last one. Back to center. Lower the feet down, lower the head and chest down. Take a moment if you need to set the weights on the floor, that's great. Now, again, we can lift up both legs or just one. We'll do the right leg first. So either keep your left foot on the floor or pick it up. Both options are great. Touch the weights together again. Lift your weights over your knees. Drop them to your right. Hold right there. If this is too much, set the weights down. Set a foot down. 5 times, straighten your right leg away from your body. Exhale, bend the knee, pull it in. Straighten your right leg away from the body. Exhale, pull it in. 3 more away and in. 2 more away and in. Last one. Bring it in, pause. If you need to pause between sides, take it. Otherwise, immediately rainbow over to your other side and then left foot. Straighten and lengthen. Exhale, return. Straighten and lengthen. Exhale, return. 3 more. And 2. Last one. Bring it back, pause. Return to center. Set the feet down. Set the weights down. Heel toe your feet a little wider and knock the knees together. Take the hands overhead. If you want to let your ribs kind of splay, your back arch right now, I'm okay with that. Just take a nice, easy windshield wiper side to side. And then elongate your body. Take a big stretch from the tip of your toes through your body, out your fingers, and we will roll to our right side. Now I'm lying on my right, and my feet are nice and long. I have my knees bent, Heels, hips, shoulders all in one line. Your side tummy might not actually lift away from the floor, but I want you to think about it trying to lift up, wrapping your oblique, your side tummy into the body, stacking the shoulders as much as possible. And then from here, lift the hand high. Can we externally rotate our leg and bring it right back down? Externally rotate the leg and bring it right back down. Every time you externally rotate, squeeze your thigh and think about the back side of your thigh trying to reach to the wall behind us. As you're lifting and lowering that leg, are you kind of wiggle wobbling on your hips? Could you keep them as steady and still as possible? 2 more, externally rotate, release. Last one, externally rotate, pause. Almost push your right thigh into the floor as you reach your left thigh back behind you. Keep that feeling. Exhale, pick up the knee, touch the toe right back down. Exhale, pick up the knee, touch your toe right back down. 3 more, exhale, up and down. 2 more, exhale, up and down. Last one, lift, pause, cinch your waist, reach your fingertips higher. Take a full, big inhale. Big breath out. This is always a funky one to some of us. We're going to work on some internal rotation as well as external. Take your top knee, touch it to your bottom knee, and almost wing your foot back behind you. Now it's really easy to roll forward. Keep the shoulders stacked, keep everything still, and then take it back to its starting place. So we're going from that external rotation here to internal rotation. Go at your own pace. Now, you might have way more rotation than me. I actually have very little internal rotation. When I saw a physical therapist a few years ago, he even commented on it was very strange how much external rotation I had and how little internal rotation I had. But everybody is different. It's okay. We don't all have to look alike. 1 more, back and forth. Now again, pause, cinch your waist. Lift your toe again for me, flex your foot, straighten your leg away from your body, squeeze your thigh, that thigh butt connection point. We can keep our toe parallel, so point your toe towards the front of your room, point your heel to the back of your room, squeeze your thigh, take your top hand in front of you like a kickstand, push the heel back behind you, hopefully you don't have things to run into, bring it a little bit forward. Exhale, squeeze your thigh, push the heel back. Bring it in front of you. Squeeze, push it back, bring it forward. And I'm trying to take it past my hip. I'm just getting a little bit of an open feeling there through the front of my hip. This time, push the heel back and pause. Squeeze your thigh a little harder. Take a big inhale. Exhale, pick up the toe, drop it down. Exhale, pick up the foot, drop it down. Are you still thinking about your side tummy trying to lift up and away from the floor? 3 more, up and down. 2 more, up and down. Last one, lift, pause, take a full big breath, and relax. Give your hip a little pat. We'll go ahead and come to our second side. And once we arrive at our second side, again, start by making sure that your shoulders, hips, heels are all in one line. You can, of course, lie however you want to. Some of my friends like to use a ball or a blanket to support their neck. You could kind of cradle your head. That doesn't always feel great for me. So typically speaking, I'm either going to be right here or totally up high, which is a little bit of a different position. Both are okay for me today. Hand can be on our hip so we know what's going on as a kickstand, or we can take it up to the sky. Externally rotate your leg, drop it down. Cinch your waist, externally rotate, drop it down. Again, as we move, you want to almost think about pressing your left leg down into the floor to stabilize while you reach your right outer thigh behind you. Take it 2 more times back and forth. This time open, pause, cinch your waist. Find more space across your chest. Big inhale, exhale, pick up the knee, touch your toe down. Exhale, pick up your knee, touch your toe down. 3 more, up and down. 2 more, up and down. This time lift, pause, hold it right there. I'm still thinking about the back of my thigh reaching back behind me. Knock the knees together, find that internal rotation. Touch your toes together to find your external. Knock the knees together, internal rotation. Take it back behind you. Keep the abdominal muscles working hard It's almost like you've got a belt on. I've looped my finger underneath the belt and I'm pulling up, that feeling of wrapping the tummy in. That's what I'm going for. Beautiful job. 2 more just like that. Last one. Open and pause. Now again, lift the leg, flex the foot, push it away. Find a parallel line, so your toes pointing forward, heel pointing back. Squeeze your thud, open up across the chest. Maybe have your hand down for a little kickstand. Big inhale. Squeeze your thud as you push the heel back. Drag it in front of you. Exhale, squeeze, push it back. Bring it back to its starting place. A few more times at your own pace. No hurry, no rush. Push it back. And return. 2 more, push it back. And return. Last time, push it back. Pause, navel in, chest open, big inhale. Exhale, pick up the foot, touch it down. Exhale, pick up the foot, touch it down. Cinch the waist as you lift and lower. Cinch the waist, lift and lower. Last time. And relax. Little pat. Now, as I mentioned at the start of class, we're going to end with a little stretching. I really enjoy using a foam roller to do this stretch. If you don't have a foam roller, you can try rolling up your mat and placing it beneath your hips, or you can use a yoga block for the exact same thing. Now, I always like to point out to people, there is no graceful way to get onto your foam roller. I've fallen off mine more than you ever will, so it's okay. We want to place the foam roller underneath your sacrum, that big bony plate at the base of your spine. I usually take a seat and roll back. If that is not in the cards for you today, just roll down, lift your hips up like a bridge, and slide the foam roller underneath you. And if your hair is in the way, scooch it out of there. Now, I often hold on to the foam roller so it doesn't feel like it's going to scooch out from beneath you. But what I want to point out right now is this shouldn't feel like a really big lower back arch or bend. Instead, it should feel like it's supporting your hips, your pelvis, and you might even already feel a little bit of a stretch to the front of our psoas, just depending on our own body. But take your right leg long and just let it hold there. Really open up across your chest. Now, as I mentioned, my right hip is feeling a little sad today, so this is feeling surprisingly intense, and that's okay. If it feels better to bend the knee, to kind of find a softer pose here, that's great. If we can fully extend, that's awesome too. Take a big inhale, big breath out. Again, big inhale, big breath out. One more time. Let it go. And now bend your right knee into your chest. Hug around the shin, pull it into your chest, and start to circle your right knee around. Circle in the other direction. Pause, pull the knee a little bit closer to your chest. Maybe float your left leg away. If the foam roller goes scooching out beneath you, that's okay. This is where the block can be a little bit nicer because it does not roll, but I like the foam roller more so because I can kind of roll on it. Sometimes it feels nice to simply let my toe dip closer to the ground and then kind of lift it up a little higher. And I'm not gonna lie, this feels very good. I could hang out here for a while. Eventually though, we'll set both feet back onto the mat and then elongate your left leg. Now we might notice one side feels oh so different than the other. You might feel it in a totally different place. That doesn't mean you're doing the pose, the exercise wrong. That simply means we have imbalances in our body. Certain places need more attention. And maybe this side we're not feeling much of anything. That's okay. And then bring your left knee into your chest again. Give it a big hug, big squeeze. Find a circle. And then slowly, perhaps straighten your right leg. Reach the toe further away. Pull your knee into the chest. Find a full big breath. Big sigh out. And then again, set both feet onto the mat. If the foam roller kind of moves away, we can adjust it. You might try straightening both legs. And again, that might be too much of a stretch for us today. That's all right. You can take your hands overhead if you want to. And then grab hold of the foam roller one more time. And if you can, pull both knees into your chest. For this one, I really think about tucking my tail, pointing my sitting bones up to the sky. Your knees might be together like mine are, or they could separate a little bit. Both are great. Just listen to what feels good for you. See if you can straighten your legs all the way up to the sky. Flex and point the toes a few times. And find some movement in your ankles. Little circles both directions. And then flex the feet again, push the heels up, let the legs fall a little closer to the body. This doesn't have to be the biggest, deepest stretch you've ever done. Just whatever feels natural, wherever we can keep breathing and not feel like we're having to crunch or hold our breath to make that shape happen. So I could take my legs a lot closer if I really wanted to with the assistance of my hands, but right now just letting them kind of flop in a place that feels easy to settle into is exactly what I'm going for. Take one more breath. Bend the knees back into the chest. Set the feet onto the floor. Lift the hips up enough that we can move the foam roller out from beneath them. You can move the foam roller completely away, or sometimes for me it feels nice to have them support my knees, so feet together, knees apart. If you have 2 blocks, you can do that with 2 blocks. 1 block, you can't quite accommodate that. Take a great big inhale. Big breath out. And then slowly roll to one side and push yourself up to a seat. Take a moment, take a pause, just see how you're feeling from the start of class to where we are now. I hope you are feeling a little bit better. As always, I want you to give yourself a great big pat on the back, thanking yourself for doing something so good and just for you. Now again, thanks for joining me for class today. No matter if you did it in the morning like I did right now or later in the evening, we can always benefit from a lovely Pilates Yoga Fusion class that really focuses on hips and some upper body, which is what we kind of did today. As always, feel free to let me know in the comments below what worked, what didn't. I would love to hear more from you. And I've mentioned it, I think, in a previous live video, but I have a new challenge coming up. It's going to be a 7-day challenge that I'm calling Workout to Heal from Burnout. I'm going to give some tips, some tools to help us kind of heal from burnout, and a nice little Pilates or yoga class that goes along with it. So be sure to keep following and subscribe if you haven't already, and you can join in on that lovely fun. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I cannot wait to see you again.